on sea and one on shore, to one thing constant never, then sigh not so and let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny, into hey nonny nonny. Sing no more ditties, sing no more of dumps so dull and heavy. The fraud of man was ever so, since summer first was leafy. Then sigh not so and let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny, into hey nonny nonny.
I learn in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very nearby this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
What, you of any sort, and none of name?
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved of his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro.
He hath an uncle here in Messina will be very much glad of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him. Even so much that joy could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. How much better it is to weep at joy than to joy at weeping.
I pray you, is Signor Montanto returned from the wars, or no? My cousin means Signor Benedick of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and as pleasant as ever he was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid in his flight. And my uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the bird bolt. I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in his wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promised to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedick too much. But he'll be meat with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victual, and he hath hope to eat it. He is a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedick and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off. And now is the whole man done with one? Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion now?
He is most of the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease, and the sooner taken than pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad.
I will put friends with you, lady. Don Pedro's approached.
But, Signor Leonardo, you are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter?
Her mother hath many times told me so.
If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedick. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain? Are you yet living?
Is it possible a disdain should die when she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedick? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat, but it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly, I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood. I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear a dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were.
Good Signor Leonardo, that is the sum of all. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedick, my dear friend Leonardo, hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month.
Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I have not many words, but I thank you.
Please at your grace lead on.
Your hand, Leonardo, we will go together.
Benedick, didst thou know the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple, true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, i' faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and a case to put it into.
In mine eyes, she is the sweetest lady I ever looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. I hope you have no intent of turning husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if she would be my wife.
Go to, if faith, and thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro has returned to seek you.
What secret hath held you here that you followed not to Leonato's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio, I can be secret as a dumb man, I'd have you think so. But on my allegiance, mark you this on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? No, that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is with Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
Amen, if you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my 2 faiths in troth, my lord, I spoke mine.
I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never can maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a retreat winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me. Because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for which I might go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee ere I die, look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle, like a cat, and shoot at me. And he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, it's time to try. In time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedick bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Nay, if Cupid have not spent all his quiver in menace, thou wilt quake for this shortly.
I look for an earthquake too, then.
Well, you temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedick, prepare for Leonato's. Commend me to him, tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have almost enough matter in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you.
To the tuition of God from my house, if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend,
Benedick.
Ah, nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometimes guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly basted on neither. Ere you flat hold ends any further, examine your conscience. And so I leave you.
My lord, your highness now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it. But how? And thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Has Leonato any son, my lord?
No child but Hero. She's his only heir. Does thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord. When you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked, but had a rougher task in mind than drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, that war thoughts have left our places vacant, and income thronging soft and delicate as ours, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying, I like her ere I went towards.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. I know we shall have reveling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I am Claudio. And in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then, after, to her father will I break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds. Therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard of it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least a patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goest about to apply moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this until you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace, whereas impossible you should take true root by the fair weather you make yourself. It is needful you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. And it benefits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. Though I cannot be said to be a flattering, honest man, it must not be denied but I am a plain dealing villain.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here? What news, Baraccio?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained with Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Is there any model for him to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Mary, it is on your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire. And who? And who? Which way looks he?
Mary, it is on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very foremarched chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for perfumer as I was smoking a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I would be behind the heiress, and there, it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I came across him anyway, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me.
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheers so greater that I am subdued. Would the cook were on my mind. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I'm heartbroken after. He is of a very melancholy disposition. You're an excellent man made in the midway between him and Benedick. The man is too like an image and says nothing, and the other two like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then half Signor Benedick's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedick's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse. Such a man could win any woman in the world, if I could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou will never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, he's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, and to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So, by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just as he may send me no husband, for the which blessing I'm at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I cannot endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth, he is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore, I will take sixpence in earnest of the bear ward and lead his apes into hell.
Well then, go you into hell?
No, but to the gate. And there will the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head and say, Get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. Here there's no place for you maids. So deliver I up my apes and away to St. Peter in the heavens. He'll show me where the bachelors sit, and there live we as merry as the day is long.
Well, peace. I trust you will be ruled by a father.
The revelers are entering, brother. Make good room.
Lady, you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I'm yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company?
I may say so when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor. For God defend the loop should be like the case.
My visor is Philemon's roof. Within the house is Jove.
Why then your visor should be thatched.
Speak low, if you speak loud.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I. For your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one.
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry. Amen.
God match me as a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep it out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
I know you well enough. You are Senior Antonio.
That's a word. I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well unless you were the very man. Here's his dry hand up and down. You are he, you are he.
That's a word. I am not.
Come, come, do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, mum, you are he. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
No, you shall pardon me. Not now. What's he?
I'm sure you know him.
Not I, believe me.
Has he never made you laugh?
I pray you. What is he?
Why, he's the prince's jester, a very dull fool. None but libertines like him, and his gift lies in telling impossible slanders. And the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy, for he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero and has withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are not you Signor Benedick?
You know me well, I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too, and he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedick, but hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so the prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things save the office and affairs of love. This is an accident of hourly proof which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, Hero.
Count Claudio.
Yea, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next Willow County, about your own business. What fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck like a useless chain? Or under your arm, like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish and joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest drover, so they sell bullocks. But did you think the prince would have served you thus?
I prayed you, leave me.
Oh, now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor, hurt fowl, now will he creep into sedges. But that my lady Beatrice should know me, and not know me, the prince's fool? Huh. It may be I go under that title because I am merry. Yea, but I am apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base, though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into a person and so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may. Troth, my lord, I played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here, as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had got the goodwill of this young lady. And I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland, as being forsaken, or bind him up a rod as worthy of being whipped.
Being whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy, who, upon being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trusted transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss. The rod had been made, and the garland too. For the garland he may have worn himself, and the rod he may have bestowed upon you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If their singing answer your saying, in faith you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak, but with one green leaf on it, would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw. She speaks poniards and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there'd be no living near her. She would infect to the North Star.
Here she comes.
Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I'd rather go on the slightest errand now than show than share 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me? Ah.
Sorry, you're good company.
Oh God, sir, here is a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedick.
Indeed, he lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for a single one. Marry, once he wanted me with false dice. Therefore, your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
If I would not, he should do me, my lord, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought you Count Claudio, whom you have sent me to seek.
Oh, now, Count. Are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then? Sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is not sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil Count. Civil as an orange, or something of that jealous complexion.
A faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true, though I'll be sworn if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have hooted thy name, and fair hero is one. I have broke with her father, and his goodwill obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and then grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count. 'Tis your cue.
Silence is the prophetess herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself to you until upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, and let him not speak neither.
Faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank it, poor fool. It keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good Lord, for alliance. And thus goes everyone to the world but I, and I am sunburnt. I may sit in the court corner and cry hi-ho for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I had rather one of your father's getting. Ne'er your grace have a brother like you? Your father had excellent husbands if maid could come by them.
Will you have me, good lady?
No, your grace is too costly to wear every day, but I beseech your grace, pardon me, for I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord, my mother cried, but then there was a star danced, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
Cry thee, uncle, by your grace's pardon.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad, but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I've heard my daughter say she have often dreamed of unhappiness and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedick.
Oh, Lord, my lord. Were they but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Count Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches to love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence of just 7 night. Time to brief chewed of all things answer my mind.
Come, you shake the head at so long of breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedick and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it if you three will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watching.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedick is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedick. And I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedick that, in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
If so, Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonato.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable enough to me. I am sick in displeasure towards him, for whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
What proof shall I make of... Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can at any unseasonable instant of the night afford her to look at her lady's chamber window.
What life isn't that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince, your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up to a contaminated, stale, such a one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero and kill Leonato. Look you on any other issue.
Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything.
Go then, find me a meet hour between the prince and the count. Tell him that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal between the prince and the count. And in love of your brother's honor, who hath made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is likely to be cozened to the semblance of a maid, tell him that you have discovered thus. They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances that will bear no less likelihood than for them to see me at Our Lady's chamber window. Hear me turn Margaret Hero, here Margaret turn me Claudio, and there bring them to see this the night before the intended wedding. For, in the meantime, I shall make the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall seem such seeming disloyalty in Hero that jealousy shall be called assurance and all preparations overthrown.
Grow this to whatever issue it can. I will put it in practice. Be cunning in working this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose like an honest man and a soldier, and now he's turned orthography. His words are a very fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I'll take my oath on it. Till he hath made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman will not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that is certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll none. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of whatever color it please God. Look, the prince and Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the arbor.
Yea, my good lord, how still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See where Benedick hath hid himself?
Oh, very well, my lord. The music ended. We'll fit the kid fox at the pennyworth.
Come, Balthazar, we'll hear that song again.
Oh, good, my lord. Tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than one.
I pray thee, sing, and let me woo no more.
Because you talk of wooing, I will sing. Since many a wooer doth commence his suit to one he thinks not worthy, yet he woos, yet will he swear he loves.
Now, pray thee come, or if thou wilt prolong our argument, do to notes.
Note this before my notes. There's not a note of mine that's worth the noting.
Why, these are very crotchets that he speaks. Notes, forsooth, and nothing.
Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. One foot on sea and one on shore. To one thing constant never. Then sigh not so, but let them go. And be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny, into hey nonny nonny.
Did he sing no more? Not so dull and heavy. The fraud of man was ever so, since summer first was leafy. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny, into hey nonny nonny.
By my troth, a good song.
And an ill singer, my lord.
Ha! No, Faith, no, sing is full enough for a shift.
And even a dog that should have howled thus, they would have hanged him.
Yea, Mary, dost thou hear, Balthazar? I pray thee, get us some excellent music, for tomorrow night we would have it at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
The best I can, my lord.
Do so. Farewell. Tell me then, Leonardo, what was it you told me of today? That your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedick?
Oh, stock on the foul sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither, but most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedick, whom she hath in all outward behavior seemed ever to abhor.
Is it possible? Is this the wind in that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith like enough.
Oh, God, counterfeit? There was never counterfeit if passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well, this fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How, pray you? You amaze me. I thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedick.
I should think this is a goal, but that the white-bearded fellow speaks it. Knavery cannot sure hide itself in such reverence.
He hath taken the infection. Hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedick?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed, sir, daughter says. Shall I, she says, that has so often counted him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This says she now, and she is beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there will she sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
Oh, when she had written and was reading it over, she found Benedick and Beatrice between the sheets.
That's...
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ to me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedick, God give me patience.
She doth indeed. My daughter tells us so, and the ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometimes feared she will do a desperate outrage unto herself. It is very true.
It were good that Benedick knew of it by some other, and she will not discover it.
To what end? He would but make a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should it were an ounce to hang him. She's an excellent, sweet lady, and out of all suspicion, she is virtuous.
And she's exceeding wise.
And everything but in loving Benedick.
Oh, Lord, my lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body, we have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me, I would have daffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you, tell Benedick of it and hear what I will say.
Word good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not, and she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well, for if she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it, for the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God, and in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I...
As Hector, I assure you, for in the managing of quarrels, you may say he is virtuous. Either he appoints them with great discretion or undertakes them with the most Christian-like fear.
If he do fear God, he must necessarily keep peace. If he break the peace, he ought to enter it with quarrel with fear and trembling.
And so will he do, for the man doth fear God, howsoever it seems on it, if by some her love.
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, you will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedick well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy. So good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her that must your daughter and her gentlewomen carry. The sport will be when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage and no such matter. That's the scene that I would see, which will be merely a dumb show. Let us send her to call him into dinner.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. Oh, they have the truth of this from Hero. It seems they pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me? Why? It must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she would rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear the detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth, I can bear them witness. And wise, but for loving me. By my troth, it is no good addition to her wit, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks, and remnants of wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain arm man from the career of his humor? No! The world must be peopled! When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I would live till I were married. Oh, here comes Beatrice. By this day, she is a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I'm sent to bid you come into dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
Took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure, then, in the message.
Yea, just so much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a dog with all. You have no stomach, senor. Very well.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much to say. Any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. Oh, if I do not take pity on her, I am a villain. I will go get her picture.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find Beatrice proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us, and bid her steal into the pleached bower, where honeysuckles, ripened by the sun, forbid the sun to enter, like favorites made proud by princes that advance their pride against that power that bred it. There will she hide her to listen our purpose. This is thy office. Fare thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I warrant you, presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made that only wounds by hearsay.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new troth lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they love Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection, and to never let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full, as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on.
Sure, I think so. And therefore, certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how young, noble, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backwards. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. And so she turns every man the wrong side out, and never gives in to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would laugh me out of myself. Oh, she would mock me into air, press me to death with wit.
Yet tell her of it, hear what she will say.
No, rather, I will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly, I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may poison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having as swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick.
He is the only man of Italy, always accepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you, be not angry with me, madam. Speaking my fancy, Signor Benedick, for shape, forbearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel on which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some cupids kill with arrows, others with traps. What fires in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such an Benedick. Love on. I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. Thou dost deserve, then my kindness shall incite thee to bind our love up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it, better than reportingly.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then go I toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedick, for his company poured from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot. He is all mirth.
I hope he be in love.
I have the toothache.
Right.
Hang it!
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
Sigh for a toothache?
Yet say I, he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him, unless he have a fancy to this foolery, as it appears he hath.
If he not be in love with some woman, there is no believing old signs. A breathless hat o' mornings, what should that bode?
Nay, he rubs himself with civet. Can you smell about by that?
That's as much as to say, the sweet use in love.
The greatest note of it is his melancholy. Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude. He is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That should I know too. I warrant one who knows him not.
Old senor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you that these hobby horses must not hear.
Here's my life to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so, Hero and Margaret have by this played their part with Beatrice, and now the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
Did thou like his dinner?
Dinner was very fine today, yes.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good dad, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you, ye Count Claudio may hear, for what I speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Needs your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that, when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, it ain't better at me. By that, I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds thee well, and dearness of heart hath hope to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why, what's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shorten, for she has been too long a talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight, you shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day.
May this be so?
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight why I should not wed her tomorrow, at the congregation why I should wed, there will I shame her.
And as I would for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no further till you are my witnesses. Bear it coolly but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague are well prevented. So will you say when you have seen the sequel.
Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it were pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were a punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Cake, sir, or George Seacle, they can both write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacle. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both wish, Master Constable.
You have! I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, why, give God thanks and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if they will not stand?
Why then, depart in peace, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
He will not stand when he is bid, as he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable, and is not to be endured.
We would rather sleep than talk. We know it belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like a most ancient and quiet watch, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call at the alehouses and bid those that are drunk, get them to bed.
How they will not?
Why then, let them alone till they are sober, and if they make you not the better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man, and for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think they that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call the nursery and still it. All the nurse will not come.
Why then, let the child wake her with crying, for the ewe that will not hear her lamb when it bays will never answer a calf when he bleats.
Very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, bar later, I think we cannot.
5 shillings to 1 on it with any man that knows the statutes. He may stay him. Marry, not without the prince's be willing, for the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offense to stay a man against his will.
Very later, I think it be so.
1 word more, honest neighbors. I pray you, watch about Signor Leonardo's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there's a great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
What's Conrad?
Peace, stir not.
Conrad, I say.
Here, man, I'm at thy elbow.
Mass in my elbow itched. I thought there would a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer for that. Now
Therefore know I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst ask if any villainy could be so rich. For when poor villains have need of rich, for when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. But fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
Tush, that is to say, the fool's the fool. But seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that thief. He's gonna file thieves to 70. He goes up and down like a gentleman.
Did thou not hear someone?
No, 'twas the vein on the house.
But seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily turns about all the hot bloods between 14 and 5 and 30, sometimes like Pharaoh's soldiers in the reeky painting, sometimes like Heracles in the wormy and smirched tapestries, where his codpiece is as massy as his club.
All this I see, and I see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the man. But art not thou thyself giddy with the fashion too, that thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so, neither. But know that too now. I have wooed Margaret. She leans out of her lady's chamber window and bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale vilely. First, let it be known that the prince, Claudio, and my master, planted, placed, and possessed by my master, Don John, who saw this affair afar in the orchard.
And thought they Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, the prince and Claudio. But the devil, my master, knew that she was Margaret, enraged when Claudio swore that he would come the next day and in front of the whole congregation shame her with what he saw overnight and send her home again without a husband.
Ah! We charge you in the prince's name. Stand!
Call up the right master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that ever was known in the Commonwealth.
Masters!
Never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
Let it prove a goodly commodity for these men's bills.
A commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
There will now be an intermission of 10 minutes. Thank you.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
Come on, Trot. Is that so good? I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tower with an excellent. If the hair were a thought browner and the gown's the most rare fashion. I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown, they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
My troth, 'tis but a nightgown in respect of yours.
God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
It will be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee! Art not ashamed?
What, lady? Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think. Maybe the right husband and the right wife.
Good morrow, coz. Good morrow, sweet hero. Why, how now? Do you speak in a sick tune?
I'm all out of other tune, methinks. Collapse into light of love that goes blood of burden. Do you sing it and I'll dance it? You lie to love with your skills. If your husband hath stables enough, you'll see he shall lack no bars. Ooh, legitimate construction. I sworn that with my heel. 'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceedingly ill. Oh, a horse? Or a husband? What means the fool, Trow? Nothing I, but God send everyone their heart's desire.
These gloves the Count sent me. They are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell. A maid and stuffed? Why, it is good the catching of a cold. God help me, God help me. How long have you professed apprehension? Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me so rarely? 'Tis not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick. Get you some have some moral in Miss Benedictus?
Moral? No, but my troth have no moral meaning. I meant plain holiness. I think perchance that I think you are in love. Nay, fire lady, I'm not so fool to think that what I list, nor I list not to think what I can. For indeed, I cannot think as I to think my heart out of thinking. But you are in love and still be in love. But I can't be in love. Yet, Benedick was such another. He has now become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eaches me without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not. But methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Senior Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help to trust me, good cuz, good Meg, good Ursula.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Marry, this it is, sir.
Yes, the truth it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
Good man Verges here speaks a little off the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as God help I would desire they were. But in faith, honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I know one such. Any man living is an old man and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous, palabrous, neighbor Verges.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. But truly, through my known part, if I were as tedious as the king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, eh?
Yea, and 1,000 times more than 'tis. For I hear as good exclamation of your worship as of any man in the city. And though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Mary, sir, our watch night, accepting worship's presence, has here a couple of as errant knaves as any of Messina.
An old man, sir, he will be talking. As they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us into the world to see. Well said, faith, neighbor Verges. Well, God's a good man, and two men ride of a horse, one must ride behind. An honest soul of faith he is, by my troth, as ever broke bread. But God is to be worshipped. All men are not alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch have indeed comprehended two auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be suffragance.
Drink some wine ere you go. Fare you well.
My lord, they stayed for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I'll wait upon them. I am ready.
Go, good partner, go. Get you to Francis Seacole. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are now to examination these men.
And we must do wisely.
We will spare for no wit, I warrant you. Here's that shall drive some of them to a non-come. Only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication and meet me at the jail.
Come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No. To be married to her! Fire, you come to marry her!
Lady, you come hither to marry this count.
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any, hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any, count?
I dare make his answer. None.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
How now, interjections? Why then some be of laughing as, aha,
He!
Friar, stand thee by. Father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back, whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonato, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth! Can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear by all you that see her by these exterior shows that she were a maid? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you in your own proof have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity.
I know what you would say. If I had known her, you would say she did embrace me as a husband and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonato, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to a sister, showed facile sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee seeming, I will write against it. You seem to be as Dian in her orb, as chaste as the bud ere be blown, but you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
Should I speak, I stand dishonored that I'm not about to lead my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken or do I but dream?
My lord, they are spoken and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True, oh God!
Leonato, stand I here. Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face hero's or our eyes our own?
Oh, this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so, as thou art my child.
Oh God, defend me! How am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Mary, that can Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. Now, which man was he talked with you yesternight that takes 12 and 1 out at your window? If you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then, you are no maiden. Leonato, I am sorry you must hear, but upon mine honor, myself, my brother, and this grieving count did see her, hear her at that hour last night talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed to the vile encounters they've had 1,000 times in secret.
Fine! Fine! They are not to be named, my lord, nor to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, Hero, what a hero hast thou been, if half thy outward graces have been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair, farewell. Thou pure in piety and impious purity, for thee I'll look up all the gates of love, and on my eyelid shall conjecture hang, to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it be more gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Hello! Cousin Hero! Wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think! Hero! Why, Hero, help, uncle! Senor Friar!
Oh, fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
Oh no! Cousin Hero!
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why does on every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that was printed in her blood? Do not live, Hero, do not ope thine eyes.
Sir, be patient. For my part, I am so attired and wonder, I know not what to say.
Oh, my soul! My cousin is belied!
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not, but until last night I have for months been her bedfellow.
Confirmed, would the two princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so that, speaking of her foulness, washed it with tears, hence from her let her die.
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long and given way unto this course of fortune. By noting of the lady I have marked, 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into her face. Call me a fool, trust not my readings nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenor of my book, just not my age, reverence, calling, nor divinity. Unless this sweet lady lie not guiltless here, under some biting error.
Friar, it cannot be.
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know not. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. O my father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of word with any creature, refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprison in the princes.
2 of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the Bastard, whose spirits toil in the frame of villainies.
I know not. If they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the prince is left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
Marry. This well carried shall, on her behalf, change slander to remorse. That is some good, but not for this dream. I on this strange course, but on this travail, for greater birth. She dying, as it must so be maintained, upon the instant she was accused of, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hero. For it so falls out, that's what we have, we prize, not to the worth, whiles we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost. Why then we rack the value? Then we find possession that virtue would not show us, whilst it was ours. So will it fare with Claudio. When he shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into a study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life, into the eye and prospect of her soul. Then when she lived, then he shall mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver. And if it soared not well, you may conceal her, as best befits her wounded reputation, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Signor Leonardo, let the friar advise you. And though you know my inwardness and love is very much into the Prince and Claudio, I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away, for to strange sores strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day is perhaps but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, as I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason, really.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
What might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
And may a man do it?
It's a man's office, not yours.
I do love nothing in this world as well as you. Is not that strange?
Strange is the thing I know not. It were possible for me to say I love nothing as you. But believe me, then I confess nothing. Deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me?
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You've stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it, with all thy heart.
I love you with so much in my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it.
Sorry, Beatrice.
Farewell.
By this
I
time...
am gone. Though I am still here, there is no love in you.
Beatrice.
Nay, I pray you let me go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of the villain? That slander and scorn dishonored my kinswoman. Oh God, that I were a man, would bear her in hand until they come to make hands, then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me,
Talk with
Beatrice.
a man how to win to a proper saying.
Nay, but...
Sweet hero, she is wrong, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties, surely a princely testimony, a good
God that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend who would be a man for mine. Manhood is melted into courtesies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and once too. He is now as valiant as Hercules, who only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore I will die, a woman in grieving.
Tarry, Beatrice, by this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as much as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him, I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so, farewell.
Is our whole assembly up here? Oh, it's still in push-up for the next then.
Which be the malefactors?
Mary, that is I, and my partner.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, Mary, let them come before me. What is your name, friend? Pray, write down Braccio. Yours, Sirrah?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Master, do you serve God?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, we hope.
Write down that they hope they serve God. But write God first. For God defends, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you. But I will go about with him. Come you hither, Sirrah, a word in your ear. I say to you, it is thought you are false knaves.
Sir, I tell you, we are none.
Well, stand aside. For God, they are both in the tale. Have you writ down that they are none?
Master, you know not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, Mary, that's the best way. So let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you, in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Write down Prince John a villain. Why, this is flat perjury to call Prince's brother villain.
Master Constable.
Pray thee, fellow, peace. I do not like thy look, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Mary, that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the Lady Hero wrongfully.
That burglary as ever was committed.
What else, fellow?
Me and Claudio did meet upon his word to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly. And not marry her.
Oh, villain, thou will be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, and in the very manner refused, and upon the Greek of this, suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonatos. I will go before and show him their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Off, coxcomb!
God's my life, here's the sexton. Let him write down the prince's officer coxcomb.
Away! You are an ass! You are an ass!
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write down an ass. But masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, and shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any in Messina. And one that knows the law go to, and a rich fellow
not wisdom lest a second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls into mine ears as profitless as water into a sieve. Give me no counsel, my griefs cry louder than advertisement.
Therein do men from children. Nothing differ.
I pray thee, peace. I will be flesh and blood, for there was never yet philosopher that can endure the toothache patiently. However, they have writ the style of gods and made push it, chance, and sufferance.
Yet spend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There thou speakst reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me that Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know. So shall the prince and all of them that do dishonor her.
Here come the prince and Claudio, hasten. Good day to both of you.
Hear you, my lords.
We have some haste, Leonardo.
Are you so pleased, my lord? Are you well, my lord? So, well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Mary, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler thou. I fear thee not.
Nay, beshrew my hand if it should give your age such cause of fear.
Tush, tush, man. Never fleer nor jest at me. I speak not like a dotard, nor a fool. As under privilege of age to brag what I have done being young, or what I would do were I not old. No, Claudio, to thy head. Thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me, and she lies buried with her ancestors, oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
Say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll put on his body if he dared, and his nice defense, and his active practice, his May of youth, and his bloom of lustihood.
Away, I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou killst me, boy, thou wilt kill a man.
He shall kill two of us, and men indeed. But that's no matter. Let him kill one first. Wound me and wear me. Let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir boy. Come, follow me, sir boy. I'll whip you from your foining fence. Nay, as I am a gentleman, I will.
Brother.
Hold you content. God knows I love my niece. She is dead, slandered to death by villains. That dare as well answer a man indeed, as I dare grab a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops.
Brother Antony!
Hold you content. What man? I know them, yea, and what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple. Scrambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout and deprave and slander. Go antically, show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words. Oh, how they might hurt your enemies if they durst. And this is all.
But Brother Antony.
Come, 'tis no matter. Do not you meddle. Let me deal in this.
Gentlemen both, we will not wait for patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of truth.
My lord, my lord.
I will not hear you.
No! Come, brother, away, I will be heard.
It shall, for some of us are smart for it.
See, you're not the man we went to see.
Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Senor, you almost come to work, almost afraid.
We would like to have had our two noses snapped off by two old men without teeth.
Leonardo and his brother, what thinkest thou? Had we fought, I doubt we would have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high proof melancholy and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Hast thou bring thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee, draw, as we do the minstrels, draw to pleasure us.
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
What courage, man? What though care killed a cat? Thou hast enough metal in thee to kill care.
I shall charge your wit in the career, and you charge it against me. I pray you, choose another subject.
Nay then, give him another staff. This last was broke across.
By this light, or I think he be angry indeed.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I just not. I make a good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. You do me right, or I'll protest your cowardice. You've killed a sweet lady, and your death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet thee, so we may have good cheer.
What, a feast, a feast?
If faith, I thank him. He hath bid me to a cast set in the capon, the which, if I do not carve most curiously, say my knife's not, shall I not find a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I shall tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said, thou hast a fine wit. Oh, yes, said she, a fine little one. Nay, said I, a great wit. True, says she, a great gross one. Nay, said I, a good wit. Just, says she, it hurts nobody. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. Certain, says she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues. That I believe, says she, for he swore one thing to me Monday night, which he forswore Tuesday morning. There's a double tongue, there's two tongues. Thus did she, an hour together, transhape thy particular virtues, until she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy.
To the which she cried heartily and said she cared not.
Yea, that she did, but yet for all that, and if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. The old man's daughter told us all.
And moreover, God saw him when he was hid in the garden.
But when shall we sift the savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedick's head?
Yea, and text underneath, here dwells Benedick the merry man.
Fare you well, boy. You know my mind. I leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggarts do their blade, which God be thanked heard not. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your brother, the bastard, is fled from Messina. You have among you killed the sweet and innocent lady, and as for Lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet. Until then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest, and a word to for the love of Beatrice.
And he hath challenged me.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes about in his doublet and hose and reads off his wit.
He sent a giant to an ape, but is an ape a daughter to such a man?
But soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say, my brother is fled?
Come, you sir, if justice cannot tame you, she shall dare weigh more reasons than her balance. Nay, and you be a perfect hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now, my brother's been bound, perhaps you have won.
Hearken after the offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these men done?
Very, sir. They have committed false reports. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, their slanders. Sixth and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what's their offense. Sixth and lastly, why they are committed, and to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned, and in his own division, and by my troth, there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, Master Steve, without the bound by your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
My lord, let me go no farther in mine answer. Do you hear me? Let this count kill me. I have deceived in your very eyes, and what these shallow fools have not brought to light, you have already discovered. Who, in the night, overheard me confess that your brother, Don John, coerced me to slandering the Lady Hero. And you were brought to see this the day before the wedding. You disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy is upon record. And I would rather conceal it over my death than repeat over my shame. The lady's death is upon mine and mine master's false accusations, and I require nothing more than the reward of a plain-dealing villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my brother send thee onto this?
Yea, and pay me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and blood he is upon his villainy.
Oh, sweet hero, now thy image doth appearance with rare semblance that I saw at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton has informed Signor Leonato of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify, when time and places shall serve, that I am an ass. Leonato, and the sexton too.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I know another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
You would look upon the wronger, look upon me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hast killed mine innocent child?
Yea, even I, alone.
No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. It was bravely done if you bethink you on it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose to revenge yourself. Impose to me what penance your inventions lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not for in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I, but yet to satisfy this good old man, I'll bend under any heavy weight he'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both possess the people here in Messina how innocent she died.
Yes, sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow then I will expect your coming. Tonight I take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Margaret. I believe 'twas Patinald Strong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul, she did not. Nor did she know what she did when she spoke to me. She hath always been just and virtuous, or at least that is all I had known her by.
Moreover, sir, which is indeed not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me an ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. And also, watch for them talk of 1 to 4. They say he wears a key in his ear and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money in God's name, which he hath used so long and never paid, that now men grow hard-hearted and will lend him nothing for God's sake. I pray you, examine him upon that point.
I thank thee for thy care and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth. I praise God for you.
There's for thy pains.
God save the foundation.
Go! I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errand made with your worship. I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. I wish your worship well. God keep your worship. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margaret how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice. In so high a style, Margaret, that no man shall come over you for it. For, in most comely truth, thou deservest it.
To have no man come over me. Why should I always be kept from the stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as the greyhound's mouth. It catches.
Yours is like Spencer spoils, which hits, but hurt not.
It is the most manly wit, Margaret. It will not hurt a woman. And now I pray you, call Beatrice. I give thee bucklers.
Give us swords. Have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Beatrice, Margaret, you must put them in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you. Do I think I'd say?
And therefore will come. Ooh. The God of love that sits above and knows me and knows me. How pitiful I deserve. I mean in singing, but in loving. Leander, the good swimmer, Troilus, the first employer of panders, and a whole book full of these quondam carpet mangers, whose names yet run smoothly in the even road of a blank verse. Why, they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self in love. Mary, I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady, but baby. An innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn, a hard rhyme. For school, fool, a babbling rhyme. Ominous endings, no. I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor I cannot woo in festival terms. Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee? or stay but till then.
Miss, fare thee well. And before I go, let me leave just with past
Only foul words, and thereupon I shall kiss thee.
foul words are but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
You frighten the word right out of its right sense, so forcible is thy wit. But I tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. Now tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which may intermingle a certain state of evil. Now, which of my good parts did you first suffer love from me?
Suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart. If you spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There is not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that lives in the lime of good neighbors. If a man do not erect his own tomb ere he dies, he will live no longer in monument than the bell tolls, and the widow weeps.
How long is that, think you?
Question why? An hour in clamor and a quarter in room. Therefore it is most expedient for the wise, if Don Worm, his conscience, find no impediment to the contrary, to be the trumpet of his own virtues, as I am to myself. So much for praising myself. Who, I myself will bear witness, is praiseworthy. Now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill, too.
Serve God, love me, and mend. And there I will leave you too, for here one comes in haste.
You must come to your uncle. Yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my lady Hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all who is fed and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you come here this new, senor?
I will live in thy eyes, be buried in thy heart, and die in thy lap. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle's.
Did I not tell you she was dead?
So are the prince and Claudio, who accused her upon the error that you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears in the true course of all the action.
Well, I'm glad all things sort so well.
And so am I, being else by faith and forced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, you and you gentlewomen all were withdrawn to a chamber by yourselves, and when I saw you come hither masked, Prince and Claudio promised that by this hour to visit me. You know your office, brother. You must be brother's daughter.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Sir, I must entreat your pains, I think.
Do what?
To bind me, or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth it is, good signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I my daughter let was true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
The sight thereof you had from me, from Claudio and the prince, but what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is your goodwill may stand with ours this day to be conjoined in the state of most honorable marriage, in which, good sir, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your life.
Likewise mine. Here come the Prince and Claudio.
Good morrow, Prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with your brother's daughter?
Oh, hold my mind, was she an enemy?
Call her forth, brother. Here all is ready.
Good morrow, Benedick. Why, what's the matter that you have such a February pace full of frost, of storm and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Trust fear not, man, we'll tip thy horns with gold. And all Europa shall rejoice at thee, as once Europa did at lustily Jove when he would play the noble beast in love.
Bold Jove, sir, had an amiable low, and some such strange bowl, leapt your father's cow and got a calf in the same noble feat, much like to you, as you have just his bleat.
Well, I thank you. Here comes other reckonings. Now, which is the lady I must seize upon?
The same as she, and I do give you her.
Why then, she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not. Take her hand before us all and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand for those assembled here. I am your husband, if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife.
And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Nothing certain. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
Her hero! Hero that is dead!
She died, my lord, but whilst her slander lived.
When after the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let's present.
Soft and fair, sir. Which is Beatrice?
I answer by that name. What is your will?
Do you not love me?
Why, no. Truly no. No more than reason.
Why then, your uncle, the prince, and Claudio have been deceived, for they swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no. No more than reason.
Well, then my cousin, Margaret and Ursula, are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore you were well nigh sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me?
No, truly not. But in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And all be sworn upon, for here is a letter written in his own hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, writ in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedick.
A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in consumption.
Peace. I will stop your mouth. I'll tell thee what, Prince. A college of woodcrackers cannot flounder me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram? No, if a man should be beaten with brains, I should wear nothing handsome about him. And for thy part, Claudio, I would have thought to have beaten thee. But in thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I had well hoped thou wouldst have denied Beatrice, that I could have cudgelled thee out of thy single life to make thee a double dealer, which, out of question, thou wilt be, if my cousin do not look exceedingly narrowly to thee.
Come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, so we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
Nay, we'll have dancing afterward.
First of my word, therefore, play music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife. There is no staff more reverend than one tipped with horn.
They staked you to give your daughter. John is ta'en in flight and brought with armed men back to Messina.
Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise thee brave punishments for him. Strike up, pipers!